Hi, welcome everybody to the Launchpad live community call for July. Appreciate you attending here. The target audience for this call is existing Launchpad providers, but of course it's open to the public. You may be new to Launchpad and exploring it. That's great. We're happy to have you here. We do recommend that you check out launchpad.io for further information about the platform, because we're going to be going into some new features and things that providers will be interested in. So we're going to have a panel today talking about a couple of really cool new topics here. So I'm going to introduce a couple of folks from our product management organization. First thing we're going to cover is some new user navigation options that help your end users get work done faster, including visibility options for landing pages, enhancements to the worklist gadget, and the new file attachment support for AI agents. And then finally, also some options to customize the case display. And then the second big topic we're going to talk about is some new options around a unit testing and an automated release pipeline. Very excited for that one. As a reminder, we'll have Q&A available. It's actually available right now, the Slido panel in the corner. Feel free to type in questions as we go. We'll get to them at the end, and we'll talk through those as well. All right, so why don't we get going here? I'm going to introduce our two panelists. First, Rekha from our product management organization, case management area. She's going to be covering the first topic. And we also have Avinash, also from our product management org, the low code area. So we got some power players today, and we're going to talk through some cool new topics. So why don't we get started here? So let me introduce Rekha. She's going to join me and talk about the simpler navigation option. Hi, Rekha. Thanks for joining. Can you walk us through what we're going to be seeing?
Yes, Tim. We have some cool capabilities that we are going to demo and that we are going to talk about in this webinar. We have made some improvements based on the feedbacks that we have been receiving to make our look and feel and the user experience better on the user portal. And we also have enhanced some AI capabilities where agents can read documents and analyze it. So in brief, how can I get my work done faster and smarter way using AI capabilities? That is all I'll be talking about in this session.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, this is great. Now, one thing I've seen, I built a few applications recently. As we add different types of users and different workflows and data to manage, what options do I have to keep the portal options simple for different set of users? Can you walk me through the navigation options?
Yes, this is a very good point, Tim. As we work on our applications, it keeps growing. We get a lot of landing pages created for the use case instances, for the data instances, and Explorer data. But does every user need access to all of them? Probably not. Like if you take an example of employee training application, only the employee manager needs access to the Explorer data to generate insights on the trainings and employees. The employee is generally interested in primarily getting their work done. So they need access probably to the trainings they can take or the analysis of their skills and all. So with this capability that we have given in Launchpad to conditionally hide landing pages. So I can easily hide Explorer data for an employee and just see the things relevant to me. So I can just see the employee training and this basically gives each user a cleaner and more focused experience. Earlier, user had to override the entire portal to configure it for a user's need. So yeah, this makes the authoring very easier and simpler.
Cool. So yeah, I can just have a decision rule or a condition that based on the user's context or some other business logic, it may show or hide certain landing pages for them. That gives me a lot more flexibility. That's very cool. So
absolutely.
Cool. All right. So yeah, so let's go with this app as an example here. So once an employee logs into the this app here starts their day. As an application developer, how can I kind of present all their work and tasks in one place so they can choose, especially if they're like a knowledge worker, what tasks they should start working on? What are my options with this?
Yes. So when I start my day, I have certain things in my mind to finish as the day progresses. So that's where on the home portal, we display out of the box my work list, where user can see the consolidated list of tasks that they can finish in the day. And they can also see the task based on the work queue that they have access to. We have enhanced this widget to introduce some useful information in addition to the case status. We are now displaying the due dates in a simpler readable format like due in 10 days instead of displaying the exact date, which is difficult to interpret. And we are also showing urgency. The one more enhancement that we have done is there was no control on sorting it. So there is a three-way sorting on this widget, which shows your work list. So the sorting is based on when is it due, the urgency, and the creation date. So if the urgency is same, it looks at the creation date. So this is enhancement as it is out of the box, users can use it.
Cool. Yeah, this widget's there and available. They don't have to build it themselves. If you bring a blueprint in to create a new Launchpad app, this comes automatically in the generated dashboards and stuff. Then you can just drop this in anywhere. This is great, being able to show more context to the end user about the tasks that they have on their plate or shared on their team. That's cool. But what if I want to customize this further? Can users customize their work list? Can I give them more control over that as well?
That's a very good question, Tim, and absolutely our users can do it. For the user who doesn't want to customize, we have that out of the box widget. For users who really want to control, we had this feedback that I want to see all the list of tasks that is assigned to me and all the work queues that I have access to in one simple list. So we have given this option of a data page, which user can use an insight and build their own landing page to see a consolidated list of assignments or tasks that they are assigned to. And since we are giving this in the form of a table, we have all the out of the box capability of a table where you can do the sorting, filtering, if you want to do the grouping, or if you want to see this flat list of all the tasks together. But if I want to see a simplified view like we had in the out of the box to do widget, I have an option of doing group by work queues, and it will show me a neater, simpler view of all the tasks that I have assigned to based on work queues. Likewise, I can do it based on when is it due, and the point is I get the flexibility of what I want to see in this view, how do I want to display it, and what sorting and grouping I want to have it.
Yeah, this is a great option for application developers. You know, you'll have sets of users and apps where they really just kind of need to see their next set of tasks. You know, what's the most urgent one, and they'll just start to work on that. But you also have this kind of scenario where you have an app, maybe if there's a lot of rich amount of data and things that need to get done in their team and their work queue. And so being able to kind of present these knowledge workers where they know what it takes to like decide what to do next in their tasks. Maybe it's like project management type stuff, and be able to see all of that in one place. And like you said, do the groupings, be able to do filtering and things, and treat it like a regular table of data. And then say, okay, based on what I've just looked at, I've sliced and diced all the work that has to get done. I'm going to work on this thing. That's a great option for developers and their end users. So very cool. All right, so yeah, let's see. All right, so this particular case seems really rich in terms of its data model, and I know that we have it has a lot of information, and you know we show the case summary on the left. In this case, there's a lot going on here. One piece of feedback that I've gotten from some providers and stuff is that they want to kind of show that case display on the top, the case header on the top. Can you show me how I can figure that? I can see that you're doing that now. So walk me through this a little more.
Absolutely. Yes, this was as we know that when we work on a case, it starts growing. There's a lot of information on the case. what we wanted, some of the user wanted a dedicated focused area just to see the task that they are interested in. So we have introduced this option in our portal rule on the settings tab. I can go and configure the template that I want to use. So I'm sorry, in the portal rule for this, this is a work portal. I can go to the work portal rule, and I can on the settings tab choose the template that I want to use. For this configuration, this is a 3 layout template. I will go ahead and change it to hide the summary panel. So once I hide it in the template, I will see a simplified view for the case view. So a user has an option, either they want the 3-panel option or they want to see just the work list view with the left summary panel collapsed and displayed at the top.
Mhm.
So yes, this is the new functionality that we have provided in Launchpad.
Yeah, I think
Very,
it's great. I think you know, a lot of times the default layout makes sense. Like you kind of on the left side, they can kind of see all the summary information, the primary fields, things like that, and then the main work area in the center. But I think you know, there's some applications where their end users may kind of think visually, like top down. They want to see everything they need to know about the case at the top, and then dig into more details vertically. So making this an option, I see what you had just done, you changed one rule in the app, and now you have a different layout here, so it doesn't require configuring all the different case types and data types to do this. It makes it really easy for the developer to kind of choose these different types of experiences for the users. So that's awesome. Yeah, so let's stick with this app for a little bit. In previous Launchpad Live calls, we introduced the agent rule and the Power AI agents, added them to your portals and workflows. In this app, can we use an AI agent to analyze a file, maybe extract skills and things like that? Would that be possible?
absolutely. That's exactly the next enhancement we have here. So as you mentioned, we already had the agents, but our users were really not liking it, not being able to add documents for the agents to analyze. So if I wanted to do a skill gap analysis for myself, I had to manually type all the information, what skills I have. Can you suggest me trainings for that? So right now what I can do is I can go ahead and attach a document that contains all the certification that I have done, all the skills that I have, and just give it to the agent. Agent analyzes it, understands it, and suggests me that these are the skills that you are missing. And it even can go ahead and create the case for me, the employee training case for me, which I can go register for it. So yeah, this is a very, very strong capability and really requested by our users. Having being able to read the documents and not manually type the information in the document is something that is available now.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do with these agents, like conversational. You can even call them from your workflow. And now, you know, you were already able to have them work with the case data and other internal and external data and tools. And now you can also just have the end users provide attachments and do the same stuff with that, whether it's analysis, summary, extraction, decisions, and things like that. So yeah, this is a great extension of our agentic capability. That's very cool. So, all right, awesome. So I think what we saw there was some new options to really make a more flexible user interface with the conditional landing pages, the out-of-the-box to-do widget being enhanced, the new unified work list capability, changing the layout of the case displays, and here seeing the new option for analyzing documents with an AI agent. That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Rika. I appreciate that. Cool. So why don't we go to our next topic here? And it's Avinash from Product Management Code. Avinash, thanks for joining us today. Talk to us about some of these new options for improving and automating application.
Yeah. Hi, Tim. Yeah, with this new exciting capability, we are bringing in the feature to validate the application before we release it to our subscribers. So this features will really help providers improve the application quality before they're published to the subscribers. One of such feature is when a provider developer authors an application and writes some logic, we are giving the capability to write unit tests so that they can validate this much early in the cycle. And we also have a capability to validate the applications before they release the application. So before they publish the application, we are now providing a capability where the end-to-end test can be run. The provider admin can review the results and approve or reject a particular application release. So this is a great capability to ensure we are releasing the right highly validated versions to our subscribers.
Yeah, this is cool. Let's hone in on the unit test capability and talk about that for a second. I think that's, the platform itself is so powerful with procedural rules and decision rules, UX, things like that, and being able to capture the expected behavior for, say, an automation and be able to test it so that as you change the app, make sure that it's still behaving the same way is definitely critical. Can you walk me through some of that unit testing capability we have in the platform, and let's take a look?
Sure. Yeah, the Launchpad unit tests enable provider developers to automatically validate the business logic before merging changes from their branch to the main branch. Developers can create tests for callable roles like decision, data page, and automation, define their expected outcomes through the assertions, and quickly verify those changes work as intended or not. This also helps them identify defects earlier, reduces some manual validation effort that has been in place currently, and improves the quality and reliability of the application.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I see you got this example here. You got several different unit tests. What rules can I write unit tests against today?
Yeah, currently we can write it for the decision rule, data page, automation, and the GenAI connect rule.
Okay. Yeah, and this is as a developer, this is kind of got a familiar construct here of an optional setup and the actual execution and assertions, and then optional teardown as well. So that's pretty easy to kind of adapt my brain to. So that's cool. Do we have additional rule types, or what's next for this unit test capability? What's coming in the pipeline?
Yeah, absolutely. We are planning to expand this for the other rule types as well. In addition to that, I think we are also bringing in an exciting new capabilities where currently, as you can see, we have to run these tests manually. I think we are introducing the capabilities where all of these tests can be run automatically before we commit or merge a branch to the main. So whenever a provider developer is trying to merge their branch to the main, all of these unit tests will run automatically, and they can view the results much early before the changes get merged to the main. So this is a great new addition that's coming up.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. I think this definitely encourages kind of different patterns for application development as well that I think will make it faster to get stuff up and running. If you're working on a complex automation, precision rule, be able to kind of even do like a test-driven development style where you may stub it out at first, and then you make sure you understand the contract and you have a test that actually works, and then you can start making the test succeed. Definitely that kind of pattern is familiar for developers. So yeah, looking forward to using this more down the line. So, okay, cool. So we have unit tests, and I can test core parts of my app, and there are options for that coming, and I can run them as I need. I'll take advantage of that. So what about the release pipeline itself? As I'm creating new versions of my application, can you show me an example of some of the things that I'm able to do with my release pipeline?
Sure. Yeah, the application validation release pipeline provides a controlled way for the providers now to validate application quality before publishing a new version to the subscribers. So anytime they publish a new version, some of these settings can be configured using the release settings option, and providers can run end-to-end UI automation tests using tools such as Playwright, and the provider administration can view the results and take a decision whether they can approve or reject release.
Okay. So I see here that this one's configured to use GitHub Actions, and it sounds like I could create a GitHub action that maybe runs a playwright script or code against a subscriber. So how does this work in terms of deployment to a subscriber? Does it do it for me? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Currently, the automatic deployment to subscriber is not available yet, so it's coming up next as a future enhancement. So we can approve a release, view the results, and then approve a release. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then I saw GitHub Actions. Are there other platforms that it currently supports for kind of running automation against the release?
In addition to GitHub Actions, we are also supporting Jenkins, which is the popular test execution platform in addition to the GitHub Actions. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I see here, like I can set up a test subscriber and then, configure it to run a GitHub action. So I can imagine in my app, I could create, even to start with a simple smoke test, I can GitHub Actions, run a playwright script against that test subscriber and, try out like case creation and different navigation options. So that every time I put an app release, I can make sure that like that core part of my app is working before that release is fully validated. And then I can decide, okay, great, I'm going to actually push that to my subscribers, or maybe I need to revise something. That's cool. So what's next here in terms of this release validation pipeline capability? What will we be seeing in the future?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned, the next step here would be that once we approve a release, automatically we will ensure that all of your subscribers get this version automatically. It means that the subscribers will be upgraded to this approved version automatically without the manual overhead of going to each of the subscribers and upgrading them.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think, we can see the playwright script there. I think this is a great extension of our kind of subscriber mechanism to begin with. The fact that you can create an application, you can release versions of it, you can enhance it, make fixes to it, and easily like one-click deploy to multiple subscribers already makes it way easier than sort of having to try to manage those deployments yourself. So that built-in Launchpad capability was already awesome. So being able to then automatically run some test pipelines and things like that really adds to that. So this is cool to see. Definitely going to start taking advantage of this. Cool. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I know my providers are going to be really happy to see this, so we're going to get going and trying it out. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
All right. So cool. I think that covers that for that second topic. So we're going to switch over to Q&A. Please feel free to type it into the Q&A section, any questions that you may have, and then I'll see if we get any others from other channels as well. I'm currently not seeing any questions. I don't know if anyone's seeing them on their end. Oh, okay. I see a couple here. So the first question I have is for Reka there. So you showed the conditional landing pages. Can they be shown, or what kind of conditions can I put there? Can they be shown or hidden based on like?
Yeah, so as this is driven by the decision rules, you can write any of the decision rules. So pretty much any logic that you can put in the decision rule. Like in the example that I mentioned in employee training, if I want to conditionally hide for employee persona versus employee manager persona, I can put that condition. I can also put that condition that if the grade of the employee based on if the manager is grade, say ABC, so based on their grades, also we can hide some more landing pages. So it's a decision rule, so pretty much all in your control. Any condition that you want to put, you can do it.
Okay, great. And the second question related to some of that was, okay, so that unified work list that you showed with the table and the user can sort it and group it, what configuration do they have to create for that?
Awesome. So unlike the out of the box homepage, we were seeing the work list, which is there for the user just to use. Here, user will have to put it, either they override the existing work list with the insight, So data page is provided out of the box for them. They can create an insight to use the data page and configure what all more fields they want to display or hide, and where they want to use it in the portal. That is the only configuration they need, but the data page is provided out of the box for the users. It is
Okay,
not in the portal by default. You will have to configure where you want to see it.
right. No, I think that's good because I think the out of the box to do gadget does a lot for you already, and you don't have to really configure anything. So having this option is good, sort of as an opt-in for the developer. Okay, thanks. Let me see. And then another question here. I think you may have answered this, Avinash, but just to revisit it, can I or will I be able to run unit tests in bulk or as part of a test suite?
Currently not. So currently we are giving a capability to run them individually as an MLP. Very soon we are going to introduce the unit test suite where we can run these tests in bulk, and we can also have capabilities to exclude a particular unit test suite or exclude a particular unit test from this run that from the tests that get run during the commit or merge.
Okay. Yeah, so I can start building my unit tests today, even though I would have to run them manually right now. I'd then in the future be able to sort of add them to a suite or grouping of tests to have them automated. Okay, cool. So let me see here. I think I've got, okay, one more question here. So let's say I release a version of my application, Avinash, like the GitHub action failed, so it was a failed release. Can I rerun it without releasing a new version?
Yes, we can rerun without releasing a new version. A new version will not be released unless we approve a particular release version. So only after a provider developer reviews the results and he's confident that all of the tests have passed and he thinks that this is the right version to go to the subscribers, he clicks on approve. That's when a new version can be released.
Okay, cool.
We can
And that makes it
rerun the
easy to
same.
kind of
Yeah.
iteratively development. Like if I have a GitHub action, maybe I didn't quite make it robust enough or something, I can really sort of iteratively work through them and say, oh, it failed, but maybe my test wasn't quite right. So I'm going to just rerun it, fix it.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I think that's it. I'm not seeing any other questions at this time. So, all right. Well, yeah, Avinash, Rekha, thank you so much for your time here. Katie, I think we can move on. So, yeah, so everyone, thanks for joining us today. We have our next Launchpad Live call coming in September. So please go to launchpad.io and register for that one so you can see all the cool stuff that we're going to show there. And of course, whether you're an existing provider, new provider to Launchpad, you can go to launchpad.io, check out more detailed release notes so you can see what features, changes have been released recently. Also, we've got our help documentation, upcoming events, and a lot of other stuff too, right? So we have boosters that you can download, like just plug in for integrations and UX and support and other things like that. And keep an eye out on our events page on launchpad.io for more upcoming events. We're going to be setting up some global road shows coming up. So see if we're coming to your city, and we'd love to see you there. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. And that's a wrap for this Launchpad Live.